Hi there, you're listening to Food Rebels and I'm your host AJ Sharp. This is, as you know, the 30-minute food and drink show which is dedicated to the exciting world of food and drink and food founders and challenger brands and all the people in food and drink who are doing really exciting things. We'll be providing, I always like to say, a sneak peek behind the curtain, which is actually quite topical because we do have a huge curtain in our studio. So it is a literal curtain. On-air tastings, food and drink-based entertainment. And we've got listeners actually around the UK and further afield. We have listeners in America, all over the place.
Fantastic.
And that voice is the very lovely Rebecca Woollard, who has joined us again.
Hello,
you.
AJ. Nice
Hi.
to see you again.
Can you tell us a little bit about you?
I am a freelance food editor, recipe developer. I host supper clubs from my house in Kent. And I teach food styling at Leith's School of Food and Wine, which is where I trained as a chef many years ago.
Love that. We've just had quite an in-depth conversation about hollandaise sauce. I'm doing it completely wrong. No surprises there. I'm a completely enthusiastic amateur, terrible chef.
One of the things that you learn if you go to cooking school is how to make butter sauces, and you find you become quite obsessed with them. So I have bored many people over the years.
It wasn't boring at all. I just realised I need to go back to school and learn how to do these sorts of things. So today we have got a really interesting expert and business owner in today. And we're going to be talking all things, it's kind of vinegars. It's fruit-based, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I'm just jumping straight to you, Labaika. Sorry, I'm going to introduce you. This is Labaika from Womersley Foods.
So I'm Labaika from Womersley Foods. I'm the owner of Womersley Foods based in Oxfordshire. And we make artisan fine fruits and herb vinegar. So it's not vinegar, it's fruit and herb vinegar. There's a very big distinction between the two, because this is mainly fruit, very little vinegar and very little sugar added to it to help with the fermentation. But just before I go into the product, I'll just give a little bit background about Womersley Foods.
Great, go for it.
So Womersley Foods, it's a family-owned business that's been around for more than 40 years. It's been going on, ticking along nicely. Started by the Persian family, kind of a eccentric, aristocratic kind of family who decided that it's got this huge garden in the stately house, and it started growing vegetables and herbs and whatever, and started making vinegars and jams with all the things they grow in the garden. And it just grew and grew and grew from there. So the business has been going on for more than 40 years, like I said. And it's been passed on from the parent to the son who was running it until a few months ago when he retired and I took it over.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
Do you still get your produce from the estate gardens?
No. Unfortunately, the estate garden was sold on.
Oh.
A while ago. Mm-hmm. So we get our produce from local farmers, or we source it from wherever we can source it sustainably as best as possible, mainly in the UK. Mm-hmm. So we try to use all our products are all natural ingredients. So no additives, no nasty stuff.
Great.
And they look beautiful, though. There's 4 bottles here on the studio table in front of us with really bright reds and oranges and yellows.
Real jewel colours, aren't they? They look really beautiful.
Because they're so fruity and they come with a lot of different fruits, I think that lends it to the branding. And so my background is design, which
that's why they're so beautiful.
Well, which is why I was probably attracted to them before even tasting them. So the design itself, I think the design itself was done in 2009, if you can believe that, but they still look fresh.
They do, yeah.
In a sense. So the design itself, it's something that's really exciting, which was based on the William Morris design as an inspiration for this. So it's got a really, really strong branding and also really, really strong product as well, because like I said, it's been going on for a while. We've got very, very loyal customers.
Oh, it's brilliant. I mean, what made you take on the company? What was the passion there?
Well, I'm sort of what you call an amateur chef in a sense. So while I was in university, I worked in different restaurants, cooking and whatever. And I cook at home every day. My wife and children are probably not too happy I'm here because nobody's cooking.
To make their own lunch.
I did cook yesterday with leftovers, so they can eat today. But yeah, so I cook every day. I've always cooked every day, from even when I was working with the likes of Procter & Gamble and Kimberly-Clark. When I travel or whatever, I still try to come home to do the cooking because it's a passion for me. It's the way I relax in a sense.
Yeah.
I was kind of at a crossroad in my career where I was leaving a job, and it was like, okay, do I go find another job or do I want to do something else? And suddenly this opportunity came up. And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting.
What were you doing for Procter & Gamble and Kimberly-Clark?
I was in design, so brand
okay.
design. So I was working on quite a lot of the brands. They have, working on the brand design and, brand identity, packaging, and all the different things that involve brand experience.
Sorry, I keep tasting these and wanting to go, yum! But also not
so
to want to
good.
interrupt. They are so delicious.
I really love fruit vinegars anyway. The application is extraordinary. But the two we've just tasted, strawberry and mint, how did you find that one?
Just incredibly fresh. And you get a definite sense of the mint, but the first thing that comes across is the strawberry. It smells like a fresh strawberry, which for a vinegar is really magical.
Not only that, it
Almost.
smells like a wild strawberry.
Yeah.
There's something there that's just
the garden.
really fascinating.
It's I think the fruits we try to get the best fruits possible, the best fruit possible to make the vinegars, and we infuse the fruit in a way that you get a lot of the property of the fruit. You barely taste the vinegar. It's sort of afterwards.
But it's just so mouthwatering.
Yes, it is there, but it's more fruity than vinegary. It's the balance of all the different elements of the fruit, the herbs, and the vinegar and the sugar. It's just that balance that it's done right.
Yeah, it really is. And I think quite a lot of people, if they think about the idea of just drinking vinegar, I don't want to do that. But we are just sitting.
I know, it's so weird, isn't it?
This is actually a vinegar that you can drink.
You
really.
can totally drink this.
You can drink it, or even if you think it's too strong for you, just put a little bit of water and just drink it.
Ooh.
Really.
And the chili one with raspberries, that is really
just beautiful.
so good.
I can imagine that. Yeah, what is it? It's called
Apache chili.
That's it. Raspberry and Apache
Apache
chili vinegar. That one, I just think you can make the most beautiful salad dressings.
Oh, yeah.
And jus and And we've got another raspberry one here. I'm afraid I'm just greedily just ploughing my way through them. I am listening to you, I promise. But these are just
and I think that's the beauty
delicious.
of it. Once people taste it, it's kind of like they want to have it, And it's so versatile in the sense that it's just not for salad. You can cook it, use it to marinate your chicken or your beef or whatever, or even put it in soup, or ice cream.
One of the things that I find really exciting when I taste things as a cook is how could I start using them when I'm cooking. And that raspberry and chili one, I was thinking, I want to put that on some sort of dessert.
Yeah.
I think it would be really, really good.
Yeah. We've I think in the past, even now, we've got chefs that been experimenting with it. On our website, there's a lot of recipes on the different things that's been done with the vinegar. So it's actually quite versatile in the way that you can use it, which is the beauty of it, because
Yeah.
it's just not for salad. It's for anything.
Oh, a really good quality kind of vanilla ice cream with a bit of that raspberry vinegar over the top would
Yeah.
just be
Delish.
extraordinary. There's something about vinegar, fruit vinegar, that is just, I think it might be, is it because we are eating more fermented foods now that we have got much more used, our palates are getting much more used to this sort of the sharpness, that lovely kind of vinegary edge, sort of sour edge that
Yeah. But I think maybe the difference between this is it's got that sour taste to it, but it's also sweet. So it's kind of like the sweet and sour sauce you get from your Asian restaurant, kind of, the balance of it. I think that's the beauty of it, because the sourness is there, but it's also quite sweet in a sense that kind of dilutes the sourness of it.
Keeps
So,
you coming back.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
As I'm finding.
the one we're just tasting is lemon, basil, bay, and juniper, which has got a much more sort of umami character. There's still the sweetness, there's still the kind of sharpness from the vinegar, but there's this umami depth there too.
There's lots of different layers on that one. Like I can sort of taste. This is going to sound really niche, but like you get different flavors around your mouth, I suppose, where your taste buds are.
Yeah, they're kind of mouth-watering down the sides and then in the middle of the
A
palate.
bit of spice at the back. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, we've got 7 range in our core vinegar. So I brought 4. We also have the lime. We've got the lime, black pepper, and lavender. We've got orange and mace, and we've got the black currant and rosemary.
Oh, that
Wow.
sounds lovely as well.
Yeah, so they're all quite,
Right,
they're all quite.
straight onto your website to order.
Yeah.
Where can we buy these?
You can buy it from our website, which is sort of our primary selling point, but we also have it in a lot of farm shops all over the country.
Fantastic.
And
So-
will we find where they are if we go on your website?
Yes, you will find it. We're still updating the location, because some of them have gone out of business, but there's still quite a lot. We actually have a lot of fans in the US.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
So we sell quite a bit in the US, in China, and in the Middle East, which is quite surprising, because they just find us and order, basically. A lot of smaller shops in the US use it, either as part of their maybe a restaurant's deli, or they actually sell it on. We've got a funny story. I had a guy call me from Switzerland saying, I've tried your product, it's really lovely. I used to buy from this shop in Switzerland, a big shop, and then I tried this. I'm like, oh no, I'm not going back over there anymore. And he said, I love your product, we're selling it. Do you want me to be your distributor?
Oh, wow. Wow. How many food brands get that? Get somebody actually coming
So
to you?
we're in conversation at the moment to see how could we take this to the next level, because he said he loved the product and he just want to spread the news.
Fantastic. And have you changed the recipe since you took over the business, or any of the recipes?
Well,
Introduced new
not
flavours?
the vinegars. We're still looking into that. If anything changes with the vinegar, it's looking at how do we reduce the sugar content, but still keeping everything level. What we did change was the jams. Which had a very high sugar content before, which I don't take too much sugar. So I decided, okay, let's have a look at what can we do to reduce the sugar content. So we changed the recipe for that. We reduced the sugar, but put in more fruits.
Oh, cool.
Lovely.
Have you got some of those here? Can we taste them?
Yes, we've got the strawberry and mint vinegar.
Let's start with that.
Jams, and we've got black currant and rose. So our jams kind of replicating what we got with
Yeah.
the vinegars.
Fab. Yeah, it's the same flavour, isn't it? We've just tried a strawberry and mint vinegar. Very strawberry at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then the mint comes on the finish, on the palate.
And it's a really nice set as well, given that you've taken the sugar content down.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste like you've taken the sugar content. Like
It doesn't.
It's still really
It's
sweet.
the fruit. It's
Yeah.
the fruit sweetness in it.
Oh, that's lovely. What other flavours have you got here?
Think you can try the black currant
Yeah,
and
that
rose.
sounds
Oh,
lovely.
blackcurrant and rosemary. Now that sounds like a Sunday roast kind of a kind of a jam. No, over a leg of lamb or a pudding pot.
This recipe, before we changed it, actually won a Best Taste Awards a few years ago.
Oh,
We're going to put this new recipe into it again next year, and I'm sure it's going to do great.
oh wow.
So good.
It's got a lovely sharpness to it,
I love the flavour of blackcurrant.
which is true for blackcurrant, isn't it?
And I think you don't want blackcurrant to be too sweet because its USP is that
Yeah.
it's quite sour and mouth puckering. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
it's
lovely. And then the rosemary again. It's not overpoweringly rosemary. It's quite a back note really, but it just gives it a sort of savoury.
It's something you taste, afterwards. And then we've got the raspberry and chili, which is also a really, really
Glad
good
you
one.
left that one to last. These are just lovely. There's something about the depth of flavour that you've managed to achieve here that is absolutely wonderful. How chilly is it? I'm just going to keep talking while Rebecca
no,
tastes
it's
it.
really good.
She could take over.
You definitely get the flavour more than the heat. You can taste the sort of the pepper
Yeah.
flavour.
Oh,
over
yeah,
the
you
heat.
get the fruit flavour from the chili actually.
So do you take the pith and the seeds out of the chili, or do you do it whole?
We do take it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting this really up in my nose and in my kind of olfactory rather than on the tongue. This sort of real aromatic chili
yeah.
sensation, which is delightful. But I'm not getting warmth.
No, and I think that's what we try to achieve. We know a lot of people don't like it too hot, but we want the taste of that chili to, you feel it, but it's not too overwhelming.
Yeah, no, you definitely get the flavour of it, that lovely aromatic flavour.
Yeah.
I kind of want to put that with cheese.
Oh yeah.
Something sort of acidic and crumbly.
I think the jams, one of the good thing is it's not just for bread, because you can use it as a marinade, or you can put it in soup. You can use it in a lot of different ways. It's just not for bread.
It just gives another edge, doesn't it? I've got a beetroot vinegar at home, which is one of my favourite go-tos for just putting a little bit of it into a sauce that I'm making, or obviously a salad dressing is a bit more of an obvious application, but just pouring it into different things, it just lifts it and people go, what have you put in this? My secret ingredient.
I think one of the things we do at home, since we've had this business, I say we because it's a family business, my children wants to eat salad every day.
Oh, wow. You are...
You've cracked it.
You've cracked it. You've cracked parenting. You've won parenting.
Everything, any dish we cook, there's got to be salad. And it's not that difficult. It's just, chopping up a few lettuce here and there, tomato, and then dribbling the vinegar on it. That's it.
I love salad. We have salad most nights. In fact, actually, pretty much every night, unless we're having a roast dinner or something like that. Something about salad over cooked veg that I really like. I think it might be the dressing.
Yeah, salad is really good. I mean, I have to bribe my children to eat a leaf, in exchange for something, or they dip it in mayonnaise and ruin it. Anyway, my parenting things aside, that's so fascinating. So what's the future for Womersley?
Well, the future is exciting. I think we're trying to grow the business from where it is right now to make it more of an household name, get people to know about the brand and its product. I think the also really exciting thing is I took over the business. We've got this core product. We also do balsamic vinegars as well. But I inherited a big folder of recipes.
Oh, wow.
For other things, like chutney and different kind of product that was done in the past. That was sort of stopped because it got too much for the previous owner to manage it. So there's opportunity to extend beyond what we've got now in the future.
And the work's done for you. You got
well, I think that's actually that's a good thing. It's there's a lot of business coming. They want to do MPD innovation. It's already done.
Yeah.
It's just trying to tweak it here and there a little bit and make it more relevant. But the base MPD is there.
I mean, is this something I can see me kind of putting a few drops of this into a sparkling water or
Yeah, I
a
was
sparkling
thinking that.
wine or something like that.
We actually have some bars that use it for their cocktail.
Oh, yeah, I can see that completely. Because most people don't sit at home and just sip vinegar, do they?
No.
I mean, unless they're me and they're weird, but most people don't. Is it good for you?
It is good for you. Vinegar is got very strong property that's healthy, healthy for the body, especially if you drink it moderately. Anything that you use too much is not good for you. But it is healthy. Vinegar is healthy. I know people that actually they have a cup of vinegar every day.
Yeah, there was the apple cider vinegar trend, wasn't there, for a
Yeah.
while, that you had a tablespoon a day and it was supposed to...
It's
your
good for
joints.
you. Yeah.
Is that what it's for?
Well, that's what it's for in animals, I think. So
Oh,
I'm
is it?
assuming it's the same in humans.
I don't know what you're implying.
Vinegar is a healthy alternative to a lot of other things that you use to cook. In a sense, because it's all natural ingredient. But overall, vinegar is good for you.
And it's kind of relatively low in calories and that sort of
correct,
stuff, isn't it?
correct.
There's no fat in it or...
There's no fat, no dairy, no gluten, no. It's all vegetarian, vegan. It's good for everybody.
And do you cook with the vinegars?
Yeah.
How do you use them? What are your favourite things?
Well, I think I like the raspberry and Apache one. I've tried it just a few drops in stew.
Oh, yeah, lovely.
Yeah, just put a few drop in stew, and it just changes the way. I think one of the tagline that we use is that it enhances anything, basically. So it doesn't take away the taste of what you're cooking. It just gives it a different lift.
I can imagine, there's lots of things that are improved with a squeeze of lemon or lime, aren't there?
That's my
at the end?
catchphrase.
Yeah,
It
really?
needs a squeeze of lemon.
It needs a squeeze of lemon. Well, there are, and there's so many things, aren't there,
Yeah.
that you just give it a squeeze and it...
You need I think all good food needs just a lift of acidity just before it's served.
So this could replace the squeeze of lemon
Absolutely,
in
yeah.
certain things.
I was thinking about actually specifically the raspberry and chili one over kind of crispy roasted chicken thighs just before you serve. Just put a little bit over the top, so it doesn't make the skin go soft, but it just gives it that warmth and that hit
A
of
little
acidity.
zing.
Also, I keep thinking about margaritas, putting it on.
I'm always
Maybe that's
thinking
for
about
later in the
margaritas.
week.
We recently did for the website. We recently did a new photo shoot on all the products, and one of the photographer we used was also a chef, and she did all the cooking and the styling, and she was just so excited to use the product. And this is one of the things that she cooked. She cooked on a whole lot of stuff.
So Labaika is showing us the most incredible picture of... Is it a leg of lamb?
Duck.
It's a
Or is it a duck?
Quite
What
far
is
away.
it? It is.
It's a duck.
Quite,
It's a duck.
it's a duck. Sorry. My animal recognition's poor at distance. So it's a duck leg, isn't it? With some lovely veg and some lovely kind of bed of roasted veggies and some...
Some griddled oranges as well. Was that using the orange vinegar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she just went out. The photo shoot was supposed to be a 1-day shoot, and she spent I think 2.5 days because she said she just had to cook with them.
Yeah, no, it's I can imagine that being really delicious, and the mace as well in the orange vinegar would go really nicely with the duck. We were discussing what is mace, and it's the sort of cage that a nutmeg comes in. So it's got a very nutmeggy flavour.
Yeah,
But it's its own kind of ingredient separately.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, I think we I say this now. It's a surprising ingredient you never know you need it in your kitchen.
Yeah, I can see
I
that.
think that's
Because
true.
until you start using it, you then kind of say, oh, I can use it on this, I can do this, I can use it on that. It's just so versatile in the way you can use it.
I can see, I mean, on all of these bottles, there's a black and gold great taste sticker, and I can see you've got a number of different years. You've got 1 and more, 2 stars, in fact. And 2 stars are not easy to get at all. That's fantastic. I can see why it's done really well in, the biggest global accreditation for flavor and taste.
Yeah. It's like I said, I own the business, but I can't really take credit for this. This is something
Of course you can. It's yours now.
Yeah, well, it's mine now. I think my role is just to try and grow it and make it more for household name in a sense. And, just preach to the choir how great this product is.
Oh, I love it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And there's just even the jams as well, because they're not your typical flavors of jams that I can see. There's so many foodie, kind of chefy applications.
Yeah.
Do you use jams in cooking?
Yeah, I do. Who doesn't love a rice pudding with a dollop of jam on it? But I do like buying slightly more interesting flavors of jams, because obviously we always have a jar of raspberry in the fridge. But when I see sort of slightly odd flavors, I always think, oh, what can I do with that? And I really like tasting them and then going and experimenting and putting them in different things.
Yeah, like you said, with cheese or with pate or something like that.
Yeah, pate would be lovely.
Because they are slightly more umami. They're not as sweet, but they're still sweet. They're still very sweet considering you've reduced the sugar.
It's the flavor of the fruit, because we use like quite ripe fruit, so to kind of make sure that the properties of the fruit comes out quite strongly in a sense, and that's the sweetness that comes with it. Yes, the sugar has been reduced, but the sweetness is still there, because jam is all about sweetness.
Yeah,
of course, yeah.
So do you work seasonally with your production?
We do. We actually have a production facility that we use, a contract production in Somerset. So they do all our vinegars. The jams are being done in Yorkshire by another contract production. So they're all handmade in a sense, because I visited them a while ago, and you can see them stirring the thing and cooking it. It's all still handmade, which is quite interesting to kind of, know.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Handmade.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I can't believe it, but we're out of time. Labaika, thank you so much for coming in to see us today and being our expert in the studio. You've been a wonderful guest, and I absolutely love your range of vinegars. Rebecca, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. What a lovely thing to end on.
I know, so brilliant.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure, sharing the story.
Oh, it's been so lovely having you in. You've been listening to Food Rebels. We broadcast live at 5 every Wednesday through radio shows and stations around the UK and further afield, as well as podcasting apps, all the usual ones, iTunes, Spotify, Audible, whatever one you've got on your phone. If you're interested to appear on the show, please do get in touch on hello@foodrebels.co.uk, as we'd love to hear from you, especially if you've got a rebellious story to tell us.